Are you ready? You need to stop laughing. Hello, listeners. You're listening to the Wolfe and Thorn podcast. My name is CC Thornley, and I play banjo.
And I'm Emily Wolfe, and I play the fiddle.
Whoa, no, it's not a creepy episode tonight, folks. It's just an ordinary, regular episode with no exclamation mark. But before we get into it, there's a couple of things I have to mention from the last episode.
Do you?
Yes. First and foremost.
Share away.
Yes, I shall. First and foremost is that I actually thought we'd played 6 songs because when we got together with Fred and we looked over an enormous amount of tunes.
Yep.
And I thought when we got to the 5th tune, I had it in my head that we played 6 tunes because we had a bit of a play before then. And I said that we played 6 tunes when in fact we'd only played 5 tunes. So if you go back and listen to that episode, you'll realise that you don't actually owe us anything. It's on us, that one.
It's on us.
Second thing I have to mention about last week's podcast is that after the podcast was done, Fred, because when a lot of this old sort of stuff comes up that was collected over the last like 70s, 80s, 90s, etc. Fred Pryback's name comes up a lot, and I got confused thinking that he was in the bunch of archivists who had gotten the Alexander Lang stuff, but Fred made a mention that he did not do that. He had nothing to do with the Alexander Lang tunes. He doesn't play the Alexander Lang tunes, and there is the reason why he doesn't do that is because he had such a strong connection with the Palawa people up in Cape Barren that he can't play. He can't emotionally approach the Alexander Lang tunes because Alexander Lang was a genocidal bastard and represents that dark side of colonial history in Tasmania that we have to turn around and confront.
Yes.
But that's also why I do play them, because I want to confront that history. But I will certainly would respect if we're playing a gig in Cape Barren and they said, "Hey, don't play that Lang tune," I'd be like, "Yep, no worries."
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was nice that he actually shared that information with us too.
Yeah. So he's got nothing to do with Peter McPhee and Gad and I can't remember the other chap's name. But he had nothing to do with the Lang tunes. But
Lang stuff, yeah.
If you listen to last week's episode, Fred had a lot to do with collecting a bunch of other stuff that comes up all the time, particularly around Dawson's, Eileen McCoy, Cape Barren tunes in particular, and so on and so forth. So I hope that cleared everything up for you, folks.
Good.
There was another thing I had to mention too.
It'll come back to you.
Yeah, it'll come back to me in the middle of the song and I'll stop and say...
Was there some letters that we needed to address?
Yes!
That gets a good segue, good prompt.
So, we're getting... so, as you know, we play fast and loose with the facts here, and we kind of do that on purpose. The main reason we play fast and loose with the facts is because we hate them. But it just sort of clogs up the music. We're here to play the music and have fun with the music, really, not to be a Wikipedia encyclopedia. But it's so good. The other thing is, not that we totally disrespect the facts. We think the stories are very good, and the history behind these tunes are great. But they're also good for you to discover as an individual. So when we do say wrong things, we get a flood of letters saying, "Hey, you said the wrong thing," and we just go, "Ha ha ha ha! Gotcha! You were listening, weren't you?" Yes, you were. Thank you very much. And that goes into our giant collection of statistics that we present to the Australian government when we receive our dole checks to say we have engaged with the community of Australia.
Yes.
So where was I going with that? Sorry, I was about to go on a socialist rant.
Man, I can't keep up with you sometimes. Well, I think it was somebody had contacted us to...
Rob Willis.
Yes.
Rob Willis, who was one of the guys who was very instrumental in collecting the Eileen McCoy stuff as well, which if you go back to the lesson before Fred's, which is the genuine article is the name of the episode, we went down and we spoke to Steve Gadd, and there were some, casual inaccuracies there that Rob Willis wrote to us and corrected, and for the life of me I can't remember what they are. But the point of it is... Rob Willis is out there listening. Big g'day to Rob Willis, and one day we might, if we can, if the stars align, maybe get him on the podcast for a bit of a chat or something.
That'd be great. Yeah.
We've only got 2 episodes left, including this one, so we've really only got one. When this episode's finished, we've only got one left for this season. But we'll get onto that in a second. What was I going to say? Okay. So Rob Willis has got an enormous amount of stuff at the National Trust and the Archive Library of Australia, and all you have to do is just punch into your Google machine Eileen McCoy, and it will come up with some links there, and follow those links down the rabbit hole and you'll find a wealth of stuff on Eileen McCoy. I've listened to quite a bit of it on the National Archives, and we also have been given very generously some tunes, some actual field recordings from Rob Willis and Steve Gadd. We just have not had time to play. So we might be looking at a situation where, similar to many of your favourite sitcoms, where after the season finishes we do a clip show and we just run through all the favourite gags and stuff, and we also play a bit of that Eileen McCoy stuff as a bit of a review.
Yeah, that'd be good.
If you behave yourselves. If you sit quietly for this podcast, we might get out 5 minutes early.
Only if you... Well, Carl's, yeah, you've obviously been on placement a bit too long. He's been on placement, ladies and gentlemen.
Placement is the thing in Australia we do when we're learning to be teachers.
Yep. So
and suddenly it frames your whole social interactions in a completely different way.
But everyone will,
I look at the world now as an exercise in behaviour management.
You do. It's kind of slightly daunting. Everyone will behave well and we'll get out early and we won't have to stay in for lunchtime.
Yes. But a big thanks to everyone who is listening to the podcast, because we do get the statistics through Buzzsprout and also when we put it up on YouTube. And we notice there's a lot of you listening. And also we notice there's a lot of you listening for the first 30 seconds and then turning off the YouTube.
and we're sorry about that too.
Yeah, I'm very sorry for you because you miss out on all the good stuff. You got to sit through a solid 50 minutes of this and that 1 minute of goodness. That'll be worth it.
Yep. Stick in, stick in.
Stick in. Stick it in. Get a stick. Get a big stick. Stick it up here.
No, that's not what I meant. Man, sorry, I'm on school holidays and brain's just, it's turning off.
So this will be our penultimate episode. Next episode is the final episode where we'll play 10 tunes from every episode. That we've
our faves.
Yep. And then Emily is going on maternity leave.
Maternity leave. Yes, I'm going to maternity land.
She's going to have a cyborg baby.
Yes, gosh, I was I'm getting ready, nesting, getting all the stuff
She is
ready.
too. I come around here and all the straw's been put in order and there's fluff collected from around the neighbourhood and bits of horsehair and it's very comfortable.
People are giving me strange looks. I'm like, I'm nesting. Wait, getting stuff already. Yeah, so it's just getting harder to move and.
But it's funny because you've been
around.
You've been gigging pretty hard up until.
Well, I have gigs till the end of July, so I'm pushing it because I'm due in August.
Yeah.
So, but that's me, as long as I'm standing and able.
I keep booking you for gigs because I want it to happen at a gig because I think that would be legendary. We'd still get paid and it would be drama and excitement and it would just be amazing.
It could be the story no one would ever forget. Be like, hey, just after this set. Actually, because I did
after this set, could we just get an ambulance, please? Just quickly.
Well, you know what? I did a prenatal class on the weekend with my husband, and it was a long day, 6 hours of it.
Did you pass?
Look,
if you fail, do they like take the baby off you and say, "Oh, well, better luck next year"?
I don't think no, that's not really an option. You've got to.
Really? So it's like TAFE.
Yeah, you've got to see it to the end, and And a lot of interesting information shared, but actually one of the key things she did say saying about work, because she actually the midwife said, if you go into labour, she goes, some women want to just come straight home. She goes, I would just stay at work and just continue on and keep it chilled.
Wait, but she's a midwife.
She's a midwife.
So her work would be babies.
Yes.
So, yeah. What if you work as a garbage truck driver?
Like as she was saying, just stay at home. I mean, just stay at work. Don't have to rush off. Just try and keep it chilled. Is what the message was. Was that?
So keep working. Don't go on maternity leave.
Well, just don't freak out as soon as you go into labour. I don't know. I mean,
So, I see. So you're at work. You're in labour. You go. Oh, I think I might be in labour. Okay. What time do I knock off? 5 o'clock. Okay.
Yeah. It was sort of.
Serious?
Like that. Yeah. That's what
but don't you go? I mean, forgive my crassness, but isn't there some sort of splooshing?
Sometimes, or sometimes not. It's such an interesting thing. So anything is possible, and who knows? Could be at a gig. And I'm like, oh, sorry guys, and then just keep going.
Bit of a sploosh. Can we just
sploosh? Don't say
catch
that.
this? Could you up in the front row? Can you just catch this quick and just hold that steady? I'll be with you in half an hour.
Well,
okay, 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
Wow.
I was a quick birth. I was born in a car, so I didn't even make it to hospital.
Like literally quick.
Yeah, I was like
60 miles an hour down the road. Pop.
I was an hour and a half. I was
fastest
super quick.
baby in.
That's right.
Yeah.
I was in the newspaper when I was born, man.
Really?
Yeah.
You are the third famous Wolfe brother, I swear to God.
I was born in a HZ Holden. Couldn't be any more Australian than that.
When the kangaroos and possums all gathered round, it was like the coming of Jesus.
That's right. It was amazing. Anyway, so hopefully my...
What's that, Skip? You got some frankincense and myrrh just in your pouch there.
Anywho.
Cheers. I'll have that. Oh, VB. Cracker.
Yes.
Anyway.
It's an experience. Anyway, so perhaps we should move on from that. But, yes.
That's the news this week.
That's the news.
The news in Carl Thorn, Lee, and Emily Wolfe's folk podcast news. Now the sport.
now to sport and to weather.
Yes. The songs we're going to do today, because we've been looking at some older tunes and some heritage tunes. Not that anything we play isn't heritage or necessarily is heritage. We're going to look at some what would you call it? Next generation tunes. So these are tunes that are written by people who have been in the sort of very contemporary front end of the Tasmanian folk scene. All these people are alive, and they wrote these tunes in the last
for one of them.
15 years. Oh, except for one. Yeah, except for that guy.
Sorry, but everyone else is still alive.
Yeah. We'll sort that out.
Not to put a bleak on things. So we're going to play the first tune, and this is written by a good friend of mine called Violet Harrison Day and her sister Beatrice.
Yeah.
So they wrote this tune back in 2009, and I think the back of the story of this tune is, I think the girls wrote a bar each or a short phrase and then just sort of connected it together.
Like a patchwork.
Exactly. Hence the name.
Patchwork Reel. The Patchwork Reel is the name of the song. But...
Or I think Violet maybe wrote the first half and B wrote the second half. But anyway, yes, we're writing parts each and then combined together to create this tune.
I kind of really like the chords, even though they tend to look a bit clumsy. If you sort of figure out where the cadences are, there's a nice thread running through there. But we're going to play this as a hornpipe, not as a reel.
We are. So that's the thing that Violet always says, because she goes, it's not really a reel. Like, you can play it as a reel, of course, but it loses its nuance of it. So when we learnt it, we play it as a hornpipe. So we really swing it and, have a bit of fun with it. And when we used to play it a lot, we used to put a bit of La Bamba in the B section as well.
Really?
Just because how the chords work.
Wow.
Just the first part of the B section. So, but anyway, we won't do that. Because we just couldn't help ourselves.
Yeah. Oh, you know what's... that reminds me of a tangential story. I went to an old fellow's birthday party. He was 90.
Yep.
I got invited to come along there and play him a bit of banjo. And I ended up jamming with the guitarist who used to play with Paddy Riley, and he was going to I believe the story, I might have got this all completely wrong, it was a little while ago now, like it was a couple of weeks ago, and I had the flu, but he was going to get on that plane.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he told me a story about Waylon Jennings, about how Waylon said that after that, because Waylon was going to get on that plane that they all died on too, and after that Waylon said that never, I think it was something like, never regret something that you might not have done that you did, or something like that. Anyway, the point is, just take drugs because they're great. They make you feel terrific.
No.
That's what he said. And then he died of drugs.
That was great. I'm so glad you shared that with everyone.
Well, I've got this real phobia now about accurate information. I can't come to it. I can't stand it. I much prefer just the horsing around.
Horsing around. Right. Well, let's just horse around with Patchwork Reel.
Very good.
Right. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Patchwork that was the Patchwork Reel by Violet and B. Harrison Day.
And if you're interested, because I was saying before, I play this as a hornpipe, but just for those listeners out there with the difference. So that was a hornpipe. It was quite swung, doing a hornpipe style bowing, but to do as a reel, just to hear the contrast with this tune, to play it as a reel, I'll just do a little snippet of it.
Whoa.
I'm just going to put you on the spot now.
Yeah, okay.
Just to play it as a reel, I'll do it once through, just so you can hear the difference, because that was really laid back, but this is it as a reel. You can decide which one's better. 1, 2, 3, and...
Train wreck, sorry. Couldn't grab that run.
That's all right.
Sorry,
but that's the difference. So it's obviously a reel's got to be more driving, and the hornpipe's a bit more chilled out. But I like them either. I think I maybe like the hornpipe a bit more, because you can sort of get in the grooves of it.
Well, I'm used to practicing it as the hornpipes. That's where I could grab those chords, those chord changes. But when it went straight like the reel, I had to think about what I was doing, and that's when I slipped off. Dang. And there's a few grabs in there, like that run on that last bar should have been like something like that, but
yeah.
It's
a good tune though. I like that. I like when you can play them either or. It just kind of gives you endless, gives you more ways of playing them. It's good.
So Violet Harrison Day has been a member and a music director of the Heritage Fiddle Ensemble. But her sister B, if you went to the Canberra National Folk Festival a few years back, she was the girl who stood on the bass of the band, what was it, 1927?
1920 they're called.
1920, yeah. She was that girl up there playing fiddle standing on the bass. Yeah.
Having a good old time. Yes. Standing on a big double bass.
Running around.
Like
the young thing that she is. B.
Sorry, B.
Yeah. No, it was fine. It's fine.
Fine.
Anyway, so very talented girls.
They are. All right, well, we're going to... And speaking of talented girls, but this is a lady. This is terrible. Oh, my gosh. I don't know what's wrong with me today.
This is not a girl. This is a lady, and she shall be addressed as such, if you don't mind.
We're going to go into a tune by Paddy Riley, so... And it's Bush Ravioli, and you can talk about this one.
So Paddy Riley has never jumped up on a bass before like that.
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah.
Who knows?
But I think she's senior and living a comfortable life at the moment and has no actual desire to do that, I would imagine.
No, she's pretty comfy.
But she's down in Cygnet, and she's written quite a few really cracking tunes, and we actually recorded one. If you go back to season 1, you'll hear a tune of hers that we did, and I made a promise that if I messed it up, we'd play you the studio version. So look out, go through the season 1.
We play a lot of her tunes because we just love her tunes.
They're good tunes, and we play them at dances. They're part of the Tasmanian folk canon now, and this is what I mean about the fact that it's ongoing. We still have contributions coming in and adding and integrating into the continuing tradition. And I think the thing is, like, the reason why we're fast and loose with the facts is because it's not about the facts, it's about the fun of the music. So if you focus on the fun of the music, you suddenly discover you've got this universe of resources to dive into. So the Bush Ravioli was originally titled the Bush Reviel, and inspiration was drawn from the morning wake-up call of the birds of the bush. Oh, the bush, sorry.
Keep going.
I'm reading this, folks. I'm reading this from the book Fiddle Tunes from Glen Huon, Tasmania, which is a collection of Paddy's tunes. So the younger members of the Tasmanian Heritage Fiddle Ensemble, that's you, dubbed it the Bush Ravioli, and the name has stuck.
Yes, it's a
so
cool
there's no actual thing called there's no actual bush ravioli. It's not like we get a little bit of koala and wrap it up in some gum leaves and cook it over the... No. It's a what would you call it? When you say a word and it gets changed.
Man, my brain. Obviously, I've demonstrated my brain's not working today, so don't look at me with that.
Yeah, it's just bad grammar. That's what it is. It's just bad grammar. Bush ravioli. Right.
I like it though. This is, I think,
good.
from when this was written in, what did I say there, 2008. It's a good one. It's a good one.
I like the key change.
I do too. So let's do it.
Rock on.
All right. Yeah, rock on, folk style. All right, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Well, wasn't that a fun tune?
I like that tune.
That was Bush Ravioli by Paddy Riley, written in 2008. Yeah.
It's a great tune. I love how the key change.
We played that at a dance just recently, didn't we?
We did. And we put it with another tune, which we're going to play later on. So we won't do it now. We'll keep that for later.
Very good.
But, yeah, it's another great one of Paddy's that we like to play. And that's really good for dancers because of that key change. And because with dancers, you've got to play the tune over and over again. And you don't get sick of it because of that key change. It's really fun.
And I have to think too, because I have to make sure I played a C natural in that, which is neither a note from either A or D by accident. And I had to, because you have to think about your chord positions and where you, because when I play banjo in a harmony style, I'm always thinking about chords as groups of chords and where to go, like your 1, 4, 5 progression, all that kind of stuff. And if there's two keys in a piece, I have to really strongly remember where to resolve to. I can't resolve to the C sharp if I'm in D, but the C sharp's essential when you're in A. So yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Keeps you on your toes.
It does.
Yeah,
it's good. And for a fiddle point of view, we can really really ring out the top string for fun double stopping.
And it's a good argument against capos too.
It is, because you don't have time to put it on.
Put it on,
do you?
Yeah, no, you don't. No.
You got to just do it on
Hold
the
on
spot.
a second. Can we just hold it? Just hold that, and I'll just wait. All right, after let's go.
Imagine if you did that every time. Just going to hold the chord. Wait, just adjust. No, that's not going.
I've just got to tune up. Hold on a second. Sorry, we'll get back to this. So this next tune is written by.
We're going to do one by Rebecca Bryan, which she's now Rebecca Munral because she got married.
And she had a baby too.
She had a baby too. And he's just turned 1.
Poppin' Mamas.
And we had an underwater theme party. Underwater Poppin' Mamas. Seriously?
So there was a band back in the early 90s in Geelong during the early formation of Magic Dirt and that sort of post-grunge sort of... and one of the bands was called the Poppin' Mamas. And they got their name from a very dubious source. Yeah. But when I look at you, Emily, I always think, there goes a Poppin' Mama.
Thanks.
Any second now.
I think that's weird. Please don't look and think that. That's
we should call the band Poppin' Mamas, except that it's already been.
But maybe we shouldn't and just keep the same name.
All right, that'd be cheaper on the. We'd save thousands better on the letterheads and stationery.
It'd be better. I would appreciate that. Anyway,
sorry.
Honestly, man, I've got so much patience for you.
Really.
Anyway, so this is a tune that Rebecca wrote. I can't remember when she wrote this, actually. I reckon, I don't know, around this 2009.
When was she in Turkey?
I don't remember. So she wrote this tune on a family trip. Well, it inspired her because she was in Istanbul in Turkey.
Right.
And the tune's called Sirkeci, so it's a town in there. And she just really loved the place. And this inspired this tune for her to write it, really. And you've only got the chord chart. So
yep.
We play this in another band called As the Crow Flies, which it's a trio that Violet, Rebecca and myself play in. And we only taught each other these tunes by ear. And I really love this tune of Beck's. And I've got to nag her and go, please write it down, because I'd love to teach it, because it's a great tune. But you've got the chords, though.
I got the chords. That's all I need. I'll just listen to you.
It's all good.
I'm wondering about that strange dominant fourth chord on the end there. I'm assuming it's dominant.
Yeah, you'll have fun with it.
And then the 5 is let's do it. Let's do this thing.
Anyway,
wait. What's that 1 and 2 business there? Should I not be holding that chord?
I think 1 is the first time and the second's the second time.
Okay.
I think that's how one's written.
Very good.
Very complicated chord chart. Very detailed. Anyway, this is called Sirkeci. Here we go.
I got noticeably lost there, but I was just following those chord tones to chase you up.
I feel like you were maybe a bar behind me.
Because what I did at the start, instead of playing on through those 4 bars, because I'm so used to looking at repeat sections, I repeated the first, and that put me a bar out. And then I noticed you were hitting... But those 2 chord things seem to work against that melody.
It did. No, it worked. It's one of those tunes that just... It kind of goes around. It's a beautiful tune, so it's fine. It worked.
Because the other tune that Rebecca wrote that we played was Old Salt Wind, and that...
No, she didn't write that one. That's Steve's.
Oh, really? Okay. I take that back.
Yep, that's wrong, Carl.
Wrong. Ow!
No, she wrote back in Bootless, which we've played before.
Yeah, right. Okay.
But Steve's written Old Salt Wind.
Oh, okay. I thought she'd written... What was the other one she wrote that's really slow like that?
Short Shrift.
Short Shrift. That's what I was thinking of.
Jeez, we haven't done that one.
I thought I dreamt it.
Get it. right, man.
Get it right.
Sort yourself out. Have a word with yourself later.
Indeed. So, I just... look, it's been raining the past couple of days.
Yes. As it always does in Tassie.
I'd just like to say that the true nature and flavour of the Australian bush is apparent in the rain. If you're taking the Australia Day off for a bushwalk and it's hot and sunny, you're doing the wrong thing. You want to take a good winter's day, go off into the eucalypts and have a look at them wattles. Because the smell and the colours of the Australian bush really come out in the rain.
Oh, it's great. I actually do like it.
I'm going to take that and edit it as a soundbite and give it to the Tourism Board of Australia. Because I'm working on funding this, so getting a grant.
Should.
But if you would like to, because this podcast is 100% free. So if you would like to contribute, if you feel like you want to give something back, then don't worry about subscribing. I mean, unless you've got your thing going and your little Apple podcast or your Google thing or whatever, and you subscribe, that's up to you. That's okay. I'm not asking you to do that. No. But if you do feel like you want to give a little bit, then the best thing to do is pop onto Bandcamp, look up the Wolfe and Thorn, and just buy a digital copy of our album, or chuck us $1 and pinch one of the old Black Swans ones, and all that money goes into keeping this podcast going.
It does. And by the way, I just remembered something. It was amazing. It was like a light bulb just went on. If you want to hear music as well in a fancy context, the wooden
fancy. What do you mean?
Fancy.
Everything we do is.
Everything we do is already fancy. But the Wooden Boat Festival has used our music from our first album in some short films that's based on Tasmanian tall ships and boats. And somebody actually has told me that they've already listened to it and heard us. So it's already out there. So I've yet to hear it myself or watch it.
Me neither.
But I've got to find it. But it's part of the Wooden Boat Festival organisation. They've released, I think, 9 short films or something like that.
Oh, 9. And we're on each of them?
Yes, I believe so.
Wow.
Yes, from clips, little snippets from our first album.
That's like niche famous.
That's why I said it's fancy.
Yeah, very elite, exclusive. We're famous amongst the 12 people who have watched all 9. Thank you very much. The rest of you peasants.
Anyway, I just remembered that. That's one of the few things I'm remembering at the moment.
That's good.
Anyway.
What else have we got? Let's have a rummage around in your brain and see if we...
Oh, Jesus, not...
Hang on a second. Let me just pull out this drawer and have a bit of a rummage around. What's this?
Oh, look, just ignore that.
Is that a plumbis?
Don't ask questions.
All right, cool. I think I'll close that drawer.
Just don't ask. Just stay out of there. All right, we're going to do one that we said this person isn't around anymore.
Oh, this is the bloke what isn't around. Yeah, that's right. We mentioned,
we're going to do one by Max Webb. We haven't done one of Max Webb's for a little while.
No.
So we've mentioned him before. He was a composer... around the 60s, wasn't he?
I think so, 60s, 70s, yeah, I think so. Maybe and we'd have to, I think we should, like we've gone into and done a bit of digging on Eileen McCoy and Kate Barron this season. Next season we should do a bit of digging on Max Webb.
Yeah, we should.
Because there's not a lot that I know about him. I know that Steve Gadd knew him, and I think there's a couple other guys that knew him or were a bit more familiar with him. But
yes.
I mean, there's always a chance when you find someone's music and you get to know them that they're a bit of a douchebag. So
do we just not want to dig too far just to keep...
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is we'll dig, but at some point we'll go, let's just walk away with these tunes.
Let's just close that.
But Max Webb might be golden. He might be a lovely chap. He might be wonderful. We might find out he had a puppy orphanage for 3-legged puppies or something.
He could.
And he just sacrificed his whole life savings on them. Unlike Alexander Lang, who just ate them.
Well, look, perhaps we should make it our mission next time to dig a bit more about Max Webb.
Yeah, let's do that. Season 3, coming your way. Coming to a podcast near you. So, but it probably won't be till next year that we do that.
Yes.
Because we need to make sure that Emily's baby is capable of getting its own food from the surroundings before she leaves it for a prolonged period in the nest. Tasmanian child rearing is a little different from that on the mainland. But the children that survive much tougher.
Yep, she's going to be tough as nails.
She'll be able to gather within just half an hour's walk out in the back paddock. She'll be able to gather enough food for the day by the age of about 12 months, we suspect. Otherwise, It's going to be tough.
Man, you just worry me. You just worry me. Any small children in your care, I'm just going to be petrified. You're never babysitting.
Yeah, right.
You're never babysitting my child.
Yeah, but I'm still going to come round and she just has to deal with my presence and I can... Yeah.
But I'm never leaving you in the room with her.
I can show her how banjos work, how to rig up small explosives for, sharpen the tip of a piece of wood to make a good spear.
Just concerns me anyway. We'll deal with that when we get there. Okay, so this tune's called The Unforgettable. I don't know anything about this tune, but I just remember learning it. Yeah, well, it's called The Unforgettable. I do remember learning...
Hey, there's a place... I just want to share a dad joke with you. How does a joke become a dad joke?
Because someone old tells
If you wait a while, it becomes apparent. Sorry.
Wow. All I can say is wow.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, listeners, that you're hearing.
There's a shop
today.
in the middle of Hobart. It used to be called the Foxhole. Now it's a framing place, but they used to specialise in framing up medals and all that sort of stuff. Particularly Anzac ones. No, it's still there. It's still there. But they have this incredible advertising campaign that's been going on for years.
Yeah.
They have a little whiteboard, and every week they put up a dad joke.
They're so good.
For example, how much does a 50-cent Nickelback concert cost you?
I don't know.
45 cents. Ha ha. And it's up there every week. There was another good one there. It said geology rocks, but geography's where it's at, which I thought was hilarious.
You would have just laughed
I
all the way home.
I loved that one. Yeah.
Yep. I can imagine you just laughing and be like, God, that guy's having a good time.
And I get all these jokes and I try to remember them and put them in my stage shtick and banter.
Yes.
It goes down a treat.
Can't wait for next one.
Yeah, although my band did tell me to shut up on Friday.
Oh, I'm so sorry. It's because I wasn't there. I would have been like, keep going.
Keep going. Yeah, keep going. Here's a foot length of rope, Carl. Make a noose out of that. Go on. Oh, I will. I'll tell you this other one. These two lesbians and nun walk into a bar. Oh, God. But I did a solo gig on Friday as well.
Oh yeah, where was that?
At Source Cafe in near the university, which is this little.
Source.
And the funny thing about this cafe and these solo gigs, right? What petrifies me about solo gigs in serious like leftist Marxist cafes, is that the people will sit there and be absolutely dead silent and listen to you. And that I just find that utterly off-putting.
You don't like it when people are listening to you?
No, I much prefer drunken idiots trying to hook up with each other and just ignore me, because then I can just do whatever I want. But I played a Mento tune called Big Bamboo.
Oh, yes.
And there was a parent in the audience with a child.
Okay.
And at the end of the song, she's just looking at me like I was the devil incarnate.
Oh, really? Oh, but that song's kind of just a play on words. Like, it doesn't really...
I'll play a bit. Look, listeners, you be the judge. If you have little children listening, just look, it's up to you. It's your discretion. I have no responsibility and I'm not legally liable for what's about to happen. But it goes like this. It goes, I asked my woman, what could I do to make her happy and to keep her true? She said, my friend, I want one thing from you. She want a little teeny piece of the big bamboo. Oh, the big bamboo, all night long. Big bamboo, stand up tall and strong. Big bamboo is so very tall. Well, the big bamboo pleases one and all. So apparently that hit a nerve with the mum.
Oh.
The kid was loving it.
Of course, it's a cool beat.
It's getting out bits of bamboo, whacking people with it.
It's probably not even thinking about the lyrics. It's more about the tune. No. Anywho, let's just steer right back to...
What were we doing? Sorry, I forgot. Oh, that's right. The Unforgettable. Dad jokes.
Okay, I'm so sorry. We've gone on a real tangent today. We're just in that tangent mood. We haven't been able to do it because we've had guests on the last
I know, it's been so repressive.
So we've been really restrained, so we're letting
Frankly,
it all
between you
out
and me, listeners, I've been waiting for them to go so we could have this moment between us.
We've been hanging out.
I'm so sorry.
We're going to play The Unforgettable. And let's hope we can get through it, because it's a long tune. It's a good one. I like it. Are you ready?
Am I ever?
All right, let's do it.
Am I ever? Like, am I ever?
No, you're never ever. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. got wrong there.
I was rock solid on that for once. Well, that's one for Carlos there. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
One for you. It's just a little bit tricky because I think there's been some changes in the tune, the notes.
And there's a lot of squiggles on your chart that you're reading off there.
A lot of squiggles.
Yeah,
there's a lot of bowings, a lot of squiggles. Because you want that nice lift in it. Oh, that's what I was trying to be able to do.
Right.
Anyway, but it's a great tune, and I like Max Webb, so I'm keen to actually I'm keen to dig a bit more about him.
That was The Unforgettable by Max Webb that we just played.
And that was unforgettable how we played it.
It will be unforgettable. And that brings us to I just want to check because I got it wrong last time.
That's 4, and this is we've got one more to do.
So I'm having trouble. I did that last week. I got to the end. I thought,
I mean, we got a little sneak of the big bamboo, but that wasn't.
That was just supplementary.
That was just a segue that I don't know whether people really needed. But we've got one more. We've got a last one. It's another one by Paddy's, and it's called Bush Caprice. And basically, it's the Bush Ravioli we played before. It's meant to be a set, and that's pretty much what she said in the description. It's just it's a set played with Bush Ravioli, or it's on its own. And she wrote this tune back in 2008 as well. So, and I like this tune because there's a really in the 4th bar of this tune, it does a C natural.
Ooh, Mixolydian, folks.
And every time we do this, I always kind of do like a head banging thing.
Do you?
I just get really excited. I did it at the dance like every time.
Yeah.
And it's really fun because it's always a bit of a crack up because it's unexpected. That's what I really like about this tune. And it then again goes to a cool key change, and it's similar to Bush Ravioli but not exactly the same, and that's why it's just really fun tunes. Fun tune to play and fun as a pair as well. So, but it's just Bush Caprice and
2008 by Paddy Riley, down in Cygnet. Hi Paddy, if you're listening. Don't bother answering back. We can't hear you. Sorry.
Anywho, let's do it. Jeez. Oh, what a day. Right, 1, 2, 3,
'Bush Caprice by Paddy Riley. That's a lot of fun, that tune. I
like doing it. I like
that C natural.
Yes.
Yeah, so beautiful.
And I like mucking around with when I'm doing it because, I just can't help myself.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
It's a cracker.
It's a cracker. Thanks, Paddy, for some great tunes there.
Well, folks, that was song number 5. You know what that means?
You know what that means?
Get out.
It's the end.
Well, you don't have to turn off the podcast, but you can't stay here.
Yep.
So that brings us to the end. Thank you so much for listening. This is season 9. Next week will be the season 10. Where
you mean episode 9?
Episode 9. Oh, God. This is song number tune number song.
Episode 9, and next week's our last one.
Episode 10.
Yep.
Episode 10.
Episode, not season.
Not
Jeez.
season.
I think if we
season
make it
2.
to season 10, that'll be it.
It will make it to season 10. I reckon we could get this podcast listener up to maybe about 100.
Yep.
Because it's a bit niche.
Yeah.
But Look, and thank you very much for listening all around the world. We do get statistics on some of our podcast feeds, and we see that you're over there in France, in Belgium, and you're in Canada and in America, and
in Russia as well.
Oh, Russia as well. Yeah. How do you say hello in Russia?
Привет.
How do you say hello? Great. I'm so glad you're listening. Thank you very much for tuning in Russian.
I have no idea. Don't put me on the spot like
Sorry.
that.
No, it was a bit mean. Yeah.
That's a bit mean.
But yeah, so g'day, and Antarctica as well. Thank you very much. Anyway, season number 9. So it's episode number 9. Oh God, episode number 9.
Stop doing it, man.
Episode number 9. So episode number 10 next week will be the last episode for the year, and we'll be back in 2022. In the meantime, there might be, keep your eyes peeled because we're dropping some specials, and one of the things we are talking about doing is maybe having a special concert with some of the friends of Wolfe and Thorn.
Yes, we have friends.
Yes, we have people who get stuff off us and enjoy our association. Mm-hmm. And we'll be maybe tuning in with them once a month and doing a little cafe gig like we did at the start of this episode. But we'll see how that pans out. It all depends on just the fates.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll work it out.
Mice and men, all that business. I think that's all.
I think that's it. Till next week.
Till next week. Hooroo. Oh, before I say goodbye, I just want to say, if you're listening to this and you're interested in Tassie tunes, there's the Heritage Fiddle Ensemble if you're in Hobart. Give us a yell, pop in for a jam. If you're somewhere over the world and you want some of these tunes to play and you're just interested in the dots and you want to take them to your jam group, give us an email somehow. Email us or Facebook us or something or other, and we'll send you
Facebook us. Yep. Facebook us to the Wolfe and Thorn and we'll answer.
That's WOLFE.
Yes.
Thorn. And we'll send you a PDF of the tunes and you can do what you like. You can do what you like. Just don't play the hornpipes as reels, for God's sake.
Just don't do that. Anyway.
Hooroo!
See ya.